So I'm heading back to my house. I gotta be at work. Just left my parents' house. I got them a meal plan set up. My sister's gonna help kind of bounce back and forth. We're doing low carb for mom. We're doing a balanced diet for dad. Pretty much a three-way split between fat, carb, and protein. And he's been sleeping better. His shoulder pain isn't nearly as bad as it has been. He's always had nightmares since his first heart attack. And he told me that he hasn't had a nightmare in 3 nights, which is amazing. It kind of struck me whenever I fall off the wagon and I eat like pies or cakes or sugar and bread and croissants and whatever. Like when I was in Europe, I ate just a ton of crap. I would have nightmares every single night. And I thought it was just because I was nervous being out of the country and just weird foreign area. But then I quit eating the sugar. I stopped having nightmares. So there's a connection there. My father, who is my genetic donor, obviously, who told me the same thing. So it's like a direct connection, which is pretty freaking cool. Had a doctor's appointment yesterday with his cardiologist. He has severe heart disease. I mean, all of his veins and arteries are just absolute crap. So they're doing a cabbage. He didn't have a cabbage the first time. He had a quadruple bypass, but they took the veins from his legs and arms, or legs and calves rather. So this time, since they've stabilized him, they got a stent put in. He is going to get healthy before, healthier, sturdier. They're removing a large artery that you're born with here in your left arm, kind of above your heart, that you don't need. So it's a lot bigger, and they're going to bypass everything around his LAD, which is where most of the disease is concentrated. Dr. Shaw said that there's hundreds and thousands of people that have LAD bypassed, and it supplies 2/3 of the heart with the blood and oxygen that it needs, and they're fine. They walk around. So you don't have to have all of your original arteries functioning to survive and have a normal life. But we have to cut through all the scar tissue from the first one. He has metal ties in there they have to undo. They have to stop your heart. They take everything out. You know, they cut vessels and veins and they graft them and they have to land them. So it's a really invasive procedure. And my dad does not want to do it again. But now that he's feeling a little bit better and he's feeling stronger and he's lost like 5 pounds already, he's trimming down pretty quick, he feels better, his spirit goes up. So now he's talking about, yeah, we can do this, let's do this. It's going to suck, but I'm here, I'm prepared, I'm ready. It's good to see that happening. And my mom, who's diabetic, I have her on a low carb diet, having to explain all this stuff to them because it's a generational thing. They didn't know any better. Went to Sam's, threw away everything that you guys saw, trying to re-educate them on macros and protein and how you source your carbohydrates and what processed food looks like and what normal looks like. What does a normal weight look like? I'm still 25 pounds overweight, but to them, I'm a string bean. So you have to normalize the goals, otherwise they seem unattainable. And it's an American problem. Like I said earlier, that the cardiovascular unit, the emergency room, ICU, sent him home with a low-fat diet plan, and it said trans fats, eat trans fats. This is a hospital built 2 years ago. They have all state-of-the-art equipment. They literally save lives every single day. And they told a man with severe heart failure and heart disease, go eat trans fats. And that is the disconnect. That is the disconnect in all of America and most of the world. There's no one diet, and I agree with that. Nobody knows what the one diet is. But we do know not to eat trans fats, not to eat saturated fats mixed with sugar, not to eat processed flour. Some people can eat more than others and they're fine, but you have to educate everyone so they can then make a decision, say, well, I feel like I'm strong enough, good enough at deciding what I eat. I'll have cake every once in a while, and that's fine, that's okay. It's just like smoking. Smoking was backed by the government and backed by Big Pharma and backed by doctors, by the medical community for a long time because there was money involved. But then once the facts came out and they couldn't hide it any longer, it's like, yep, smoking gives you heart disease, cancer, premature death, hypertension, all of these things. You couldn't hide the facts anymore. So now smoking has just plummeted, right? But there's still people who smoke, and there are always going to be people who, no matter how much the information's out there, they're still going to be turds of humans and do whatever they want. Go for it. But that's not my family's case. It wasn't like they were deliberately hurting themselves. They just didn't think about it. They didn't know. They thought, well, I'm watching what I eat. I'm eating yogurt. I'm eat whole wheat bread. But there's sugar in yogurt, there's sugar in bread, there's added sugar, there's preservatives, which aren't all bad, but some of them can be. And they're not monitoring their blood sugar because they don't want to know. They don't want to pay the consequences for the actions they've taken for decades, because they don't feel like the actions that they've taken are deserving of the consequences. In other words, they don't feel like they deserve what's happening to them, and they don't. That's partially true, but they have to adapt knowledge and the thirst for knowledge in order to save themselves, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I have my own issues, you know. I'm maxed out is what I'm saying, but I'm trying my best to be there for my family, and the stress of everything makes me want to not work out. It makes me want to eat crappy food, but there's just a little spark in me that keeps me going, and this is my outlet. So nobody can be watching this, but it still helps me to release some feelings and emotions. I have to maintain my journey of mental health and physical health, continue to see my therapist, continue to work out, continue to be cognizant of what I eat, but it can't stress me out to the point where it breaks and then I fall off the wagon. So it's trial and error, just keep pushing, but the most important thing is to talk to your loved ones about nutrition, because you'll learn along the way with them, because you won't know everything. I don't know anything, hardly. I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just a dude who used to have a terrible lifestyle, and got shooken up enough that I was like, all right, well, it's time to change everything. And I changed absolutely everything. Hopefully you found some motivation in this. Talk to your family, talk to your loved ones, talk to your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. And the kids. The kids are super duper important. You don't want to have little chubby kids running around, because I was a chubby kid and it was not fun. And they're easy to fix. They depend on you for food. Think about it. So that's kind of where I'm at with everything. I'm just jetting around back and forth between Tampa and where my folks live, a couple hours north. It's hard, it's tough, but we're doing it, and I have a lot of faith that we're going to get Dad as prepared as possible for the surgery, and then it's about a 2-month recovery after surgery, and just keep him active, keep him happy, and keep him engaged with the world, and watch his mental health and make sure everybody's good with that. So if you guys have any opinions, or if y'all have any stories like this and want to drop it below, just kind of share your experiences, that'd be very helpful for me. Hopefully you guys can relate to some of this and kind of get some hope and hopefulness out of it. I'm going to keep updating, keep doing these vlogs. If y'all have any advice or input or questions, hit me up. And until next time, I appreciate it, guys, and stay healthy.